This happened back in 2022. I like hiking alone, wandering into random spots where most people wouldn't dare go. That day, I picked a trail that looked completely unmarked on the map, a deep, narrow path cutting through dense forest. No sunlight made it past the thick canopy, the air heavy with damp earth and fallen leaves. I felt a quiet thrill, like I was the only person alive in that corner of the world. At first, it was normal. Crunching leaves under my boots, birds calling faintly, the distant trickle of a stream. I was moving at my own pace, letting the forest swallow me, enjoying the solitude. Then, I saw them. 3 men, sitting on fallen logs, playing cards, or at least pretending to. I couldn't tell. They didn't look like hikers. Their clothes were dark, plain. Their faces hard, calculating, dangerous, mafia-like. Thieves, criminals, something worse. My stomach sank. I froze. They looked up at me. Our eyes met. I kept walking, pretending I hadn't noticed, trying to stay calm. But the forest didn't feel calm anymore. Every branch, every rustle seemed magnified. Every few steps, I glanced behind me, expecting the men to be following. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Quiet, careful, deliberate. Not like someone walking normally. They were stalking. My heart pounded. I stopped. I looked back. They were moving. 3 dark shapes weaving through the trees behind me. Not running yet. Not yelling. Just following. Fear hit me like a wall. I couldn't run without giving away panic. Couldn't stand still without becoming an easy target. My mind raced. And then a thought. Stupid or smart? I don't know. I reached for my phone. Held it like I was recording. "Hi friends," I said, loudly, trying to sound like a YouTuber. "I'm out here, in the middle of the woods, and not alone. There are 3 men behind me." The words trembled in my throat, but I forced a smile. "Yeah, you heard me. 3 men. Looks like trouble. Let's go deeper, huh?" I took a deliberate step forward, as if inviting them. But really, I ducked into a narrow cluster of bushes nearby. My lungs burned. Every muscle trembled. The men moved past the spot I had just left. They hadn't noticed me hiding. I could see their shadows through the trees, their slow, confident stride. My chest felt like it was about to burst. My hands shook, so badly I could barely hold my phone. Every second stretched. I didn't breathe, for fear of being heard. When they finally passed out of sight, a frozen relief washed over me. But it was thin, fragile. I waited until I was sure they weren't circling back, then ran. Feet pounding against roots and fallen branches, heart hammering so hard I could hear it in my ears. I reached my car, relief threatening to drown me, but stopped dead. 2 men were sitting in my car, friends of the 3 in the woods. I realized with horror. My mind froze. I could see the way their eyes followed me. Calm, waiting. I didn't think. I ran. I sprinted through the darkening forest, boots slipping in the mud. The sun had almost disappeared. Shadows stretched like fingers. Every snapping twig sounded like them closing in. Every rustle made my stomach tighten. Panic and adrenaline collided, making my thoughts sharp and slow all at once. Finally, I reached the main road. My lungs burned. My legs felt like lead. Cars passed by, headlights cutting through the night. I raised my arm. Someone stopped. I jumped in gasping, hands shaking so badly I couldn't hold the door properly. I asked for their phone. My voice was raw, desperate. I dialed the police, heart hammering, so fast I thought it might burst. Even in the safety of the car, with the road behind me, I couldn't stop looking over my shoulder. Every shadow on the tree line looked like one of them. My skin crawled. I felt hollow, like something had reached inside me. During the chase, I never went back to that forest. I never tried hiking alone in a random place again. Even now, sometimes when I'm walking down a quiet street or camping with friends, I swear I hear soft footsteps behind me. Some fears don't end when you leave the forest. Some dangers follow, unseen, lingering, and maybe waiting. This is told from my point of view because I lived it. I'm not proud of some of the things we did as a group. I'll admit it now. We were assholes to him. That's part of why it still eats at me. This is how it all went down. Friday, 10:05 a.m. We met at the gas station on the edge of town. 5 of us crammed into Jake's old truck like we always did. Alex, Sam, the quiet one, Marcus, and Tyler. The plan was cheap, stupid, perfect for the weekend. 2 nights at a remote forest site Sam had suggested months before. Sam barely said 3 words the entire ride. He sat in the back, hood up, thermos in hand, staring out the window. We joked about it. We always joked at his expense. He let us. That's what we told ourselves anyway. 2 weeks earlier, a fight at a bar. Usual ribbing. Ended with a shove from Marcus, a beer bottle nicking the ear. Nothing serious. But Sam stormed off, said things that cut deeper than any joke should. Later we laughed, called it a blow-up. But things were different. None of us thought much of it. Bullies rarely do. Noon. We parked at the trailhead. Unloaded. Hit the path. The day was cool, bright. Good hiking weather. Chatter light. The kind that makes strangers think you're inseparable. Sam kept to the rear, answering questions with a flat, "I'll follow." No input on where to camp. We arrived at the clearing by 3:15 p.m. Perfect. Stone fire ring. Flat patch of earth. Small stand of pines blocking wind. Tents set. Task split. Marcus and Tyler chopped wood. Alex and I laid out food. Sam wandered off. "Check the water," he said. Came back with a shrug. Small things started to feel off. Little signs we didn't notice. A faint tack in the dirt where a stake had been pulled. A ribbon twig caught on a low branch, as though something brushed it and left. Nothing we registered as malicious at the time. 6 p.m. Dinner was standard. Beer, burgers over the fire, stupid dares. Around the flames, the world shrank to heat. Muscle memory. The way Alex's stories always made Tyler snort. Sam ate quietly. Thermos like an anchor. The argument 2 weeks before came up between jokes. Tyler mimed the shove. Marcus laughed. Sam said nothing. 9:10 p.m. After a few beers, the guys wanted to walk to the overlook Valley Lights. Alex and I left with them. Sam told us he'd finished cleaning up. Ridge Trail, half a mile, triangle of moonlight. Turning back, we saw the glow of a little campfire. Sam's lantern already out. Didn't make sense. He'd been there when we left. Flashlight at the tent, on the ground. Lens cracked. At the time, we laughed it off. "Sam's clumsy," Alex said. But one thing I noticed, didn't mention. Zipper on my tent sliced. Neat little tear, like something sharp. I brushed it off as wear. 11:37 p.m. All in our tents asleep. I woke. That feeling, the itch behind your teeth, something is wrong. Wind. Not enough. Watch read 11:37. Outside, through thin canvas movement. Not random. Slow, sure steps. Tap on a pole. Tent shook once, then nothing. I lay frozen, memory of the bar, fight looping in my head. I unzipped, peered out. Sam, no headlamp. Moving like a ghost through firelight. Past each tent, stopping. Looking down at something we couldn't see. When he passed me, he met my eyes. No expression. Moment wrong. Unnameable. "Early start tomorrow," he said, soft. Walked away. I didn't know what he'd done, but the way he'd looked, hair on my arm stood up. Saturday, 5:20 a.m. Woke to empty fire pit. Small trail of gear leading away. Not theft a path. Tyler's water bottle. Upright, 100 feet away. Pack still on ground. Someone moved things, left them arranged like a show. Marcus swore he saw a boot track. Not ours. Someone circling. Sun pale coin. Car keys gone. Vanished. We assumed pranks. Idiots. Split up for park. Alex and I toured road. Looked for spare truck key. Tyler and Marcus flagged down a car. Sam stayed, watching us leave with that odd smile. Didn't want to leave him alone, but needed supplies. Promised to be back by noon. Noon. Found no one on the road. Phone, one lonely bar. Voicemail from Alex. Guys turned up nothing. Came back. Sam waiting. Sitting on a log. Like he'd been there all along. Called us idiots slow. Said we should have listened. Tone steady as stone. Chilled me. This is where it turned from stupid to real. 2:05 p.m. Hike to abandoned cabin Sam mentioned before. Tyler, for a laugh. Bad idea. Cabin route took us deeper. Gullies, boulder fields, over logs. Trusted Sam's sense of place. He kept directing us on his smaller paths. Stops, glances back, little smile. Keeps walking. 3:40 p.m. Cabin. Old hunter shack. Boarded. Sagging. Locals said, "Don't sleep there." Sam suggested going inside. Just to look. Moved like man of the place. Opening latch. Calling us in. 4 of us. Dim room. Flashlights cutting through dust. Sam lingered by doorway. Threshold he controlled. Closed door behind us. Clicked like shutter. Then locked it. At first joke. He laughed. Just for an hour. We'll camp out. Roast something. Mood off. Air tasted metallic. Wood cold. As if touched by many hands before. 4:10 p.m. Boards cracked outside. Not regular settling. Something heavy hit cabin door. Slam with intention. We banged back, called his name. Sam's answer. Sit methodical. Pouring coffee from thermos. Nothing happened. He told a story. Soft, intimate. Being laughed at in high school. Way we made him but of jokes. Night he left town. Months alone. Lost. You said I'd never make it. Always quiet. Never be anything. No shouting. No crying. Reading aloud. Silence in room grew larger. 5 p.m. First injury. Marcus stepped on frayed rope Sim tied along sill. Twisted ankle. Yelped. Couldn't put weight. Sam shrugged, offered bandage. You shouldn't have pushed him last month. Marcus face white. Said sorry over and over. Pebble dropped in a well. Realization. This wasn't prank. Sam planned it. Moved keys. Broken flashlight. Sliced tin zipper. Cabin stage. Purpose. 6:30 p.m. Tension narrowed. Argued. Demanding keys. Demanding exit. Sam refused. Face it. Remember. Sit on floor. Watch. Stack belongings in neat piles by hearth. Open chapstick. Alex's wallet on rock. Trophies. Walk slowly. Cataloging remorse. Duct tape. Marcus ankle taped. Fed him water. Walked to each. Calm worse than anger. Less human. 9 p.m. Left us in cabin. Latch sound the last symphony. Boards groan closure. Inside. Windows boarded. 1 boot worth of space to openings. Said he'd be back, we should think. Terrified. Can't describe. Didn't sleep. Whispered into shadows. Tried planning. Small cabin. Heard every creak outside like someone leaning. Hourly. Step around perimeter. Reading us. Drop something, a photograph. Framed picture of us at graduation. Reverence. Left. Burned into mind. Purposeful humiliation. Midnight. Black backcountry. Movement. Boots crunching periphery. Fading footsteps. Twig snapped. Sam returned 2:30 a.m. Hadn't left property. Something beyond sight. Surgical. Open door, didn't rush. Watched us come. Injured. Exhausted. Begging. Smiled. Now you see. Left with bruises. Twisted ankle. Hatred tasting like metal. Drove back in silence. Morning. Marcus to Yar. Ankle. Tyler. Hyperextended wrist. Alex concussion from tossed log. He heard alive. 2 weeks later. Sam's actions surfaced. Too many clues. Prints on Jareth note. Duct tape brand. Batch number. GPS log. Sheriff interviewed separately. Arrested. Cruiser backseat comm. Told deputy. I wanted them to feel small. Didn't deny. Wanted us to understand. Arrogance has consequences. Could hurt unnoticed. Right to make us suffer. I don't know. Worst scenario. A history behind cabin. Sheriff. Activities, fights, robberies. People dragged. Left until they crawled back. If at all. Sam used reputation. Layer of terror. Rehearse calm. Watch videos. Read forums. Scouted months. Quietness is cover. Afterwards. None of us the same. Pled guilty. Pride. Cruelty. Complicity. Sam. Her unlawful confinement. Community service. Therapy. Not enough. No court teaches the face of the person you hurt until turned on you. Alive, but wounds invisible. Marcus limps. Tyler flinches at entrances. I replay night. Realize close to much darker outcome. If Latch held longer, if Sam angrier, might not be here. I tell this not to excuse. No excuse. But to explain shape of it. Revenge small. Snide comments. Pushing to edge. Found a place to grow. Sam's revenge deliberate. Inflicted pain shame. Wanted us small trapped. Succeeded in part. Survived. Hurt. Lasting. Left understanding. Cruelty breeds cruelty. Sam, I wonder if he forgave himself. Wanted forgiveness. One thing. When people say boys will be boys, think who gets hurt. And if you find an abandoned cabin, remote woods, look long, look hard, then walk away. This happened with me back in the summer of 2021. My friends and I decided to go hiking. Nothing fancy, just a weekend escape from the city. Not a national forest, not a marked trail, just a random stretch of woods a friend had read about online. It was the kind of place that looked inviting on a map. Winding paths, patches of sunlight through tall pines, a creek running somewhere off to the side. We left the cars around 3 p.m. The sun was bright, but leaning toward the west, casting long shadows that stretched like fingers across the trail. The air was warm, soft smell of wet soil mixed with pine. Everything felt normal. We joked, checked our packs, took a few photos. Exactly what I wanted, a break from the constant buzz of the city. After about 30 minutes, our group spread out naturally. One friend, Daniel, he always walked ahead, said he wanted to lead the way. The rest of us moved slower, chatting, laughing. That's when I first noticed it. A shape moving at the edge of the trees. I squinted. It looked like us, but not exactly. At first, I thought it was a trick of the light. A deer? A bush? But the way it moved, it mimicked our steps. Every time I slowed, it slowed. Stepped over a root, it hesitated the same way. My stomach tightened. I whispered to a friend next to me, "Do you see that?" They laughed it off. "Probably just someone else on the trail," they said, but I wasn't convinced. We caught up with Daniel at a bend near the creek. He was gone. I called his name, just my voice echoing back. No response. My friends laughed nervously. "He's probably just ahead," one said. But the forest, it felt heavier, darker. Silence pressed in like the trees themselves were holding their breath. Then it moved again. The figure, no, not a person exactly, stepped out of the shadows for a second, at the very edge of our vision, and disappeared. It was following us, staying just out of reach. My pulse thumped in my ears. Every instinct screamed, "Move, run, don't stop." We kept walking, voices lower now. The trail narrowed. Shadows pooled between the trees. And then, I noticed one of my friends was missing. Not behind us, gone entirely. No rustle of leaves, no snap of a branch. Just vanished. Panic hit. Heart racing, chest tight. "Where's Emily?" I shout, a voice cracking. The others were frozen, eyes wide. Then we heard it, soft, rhythmic snapping of twigs behind us. Slow, deliberate, like someone, or something, was circling, testing us. We ran, sprinting blindly, dodging roots, leaping over fallen logs. Voices calling each other's names in rising fear. Every step a gamble. Every shadow, a hand reaching out. I fell once, scraped my knees, dirt, and leaves in my hands. While I looked up, the forest was thick, dark, oppressive. Something moved, a shape in the corner of my vision. But when I turned, fully nothing. Just a trail stretching endlessly ahead, silent, empty, but not safe. Finally, we burst into a small clearing. Gasping, hearts pounding. We searched frantically for Emily. No sign, only a note pinned to a nearby tree. My hand shook so badly, I almost dropped it. It read, simply, "Next time, don't split up." We left the woods immediately, not stopping, not collecting packs, nothing. When we reached the road, we glanced back once. The forest seemed calm, almost inviting in the daylight. But I knew it wasn't. I knew it had claimed one of us, or at least marked her. To this day, we never found Emily. Some nights, I still hear the soft snapping of twigs, rhythmic, deliberate in my dreams. And I wonder, was it waiting for her? For us? Or does it wait for anyone who dares step too far into those woods alone or together?